responsibility.
Finishing this fight.
Hello everyone, and welcome into the Lore Council. This is Cade, and I am joined today with Keith.
Felicitations.
And today we are going over a video idea that was actually brought to us by a member of our Discord. So if you're not in our Discord, you gotta join up, because then you can communicate directly with your boys, and you can give us some great video ideas like this. And this one was suggested by on Discord, for who knows what his real name is, but on Discord he is Wilgo, and he is a member of our Discord. And this video is dedicated to you whenever we at you on the Discord. So we are going to go over some things that we would rewrite about the Book of Boba Fett. Unfortunately, the only slight problem is, if you've seen our Book of Boba Fett reviews, Keith and I, we're both big fans of the Book of Boba Fett show, so...
Yeah, I mean, the show definitely had its issues, but I definitely enjoyed it for what it was. But I also think there's a lot of things that could be improved. But yeah, this definitely wasn't something that I thought of off the bat. Let's rewrite it. I was just I was happy with what we got for the most part. But
yeah, for sure, it wasn't like how we would rewrite the Clone Wars or how we'd rewrite the prequels, where it's there are very obvious big changes we could make.
Yeah, and regarding the Boba Fett thing, I liked it, I guess, because it didn't do the obvious thing that I would have expected. It did something different, Boba Fett being a crime boss. He's he basically becomes a Tusken Raider, kind of. It's it's a whole Western thing. Certain things didn't the biker gang wasn't the coolest thing in the world. A little weird.
Yeah, the Vespa gang wasn't always the coolest. They kind of got a little cooler in the later episodes, but yeah, their first appearance was not too cool. But I think maybe we should save that for later.
Regarding this, regarding Book of Boba Fett, I kind of wouldn't want to improve and patch up the show. I would kind of just want to completely start from scratch and do something different. It seems like we could either start off from the point of doing Boba Fett in the Mandalorian universe, or just do something just completely different and based off of the expanded universe. Or what would you rather? What would you rather do?
I think doing something with the crime boss idea is really fun. Obviously, that's what Mando season 2, the end credit scene, set up. And I think going with that was definitely the right choice. But I think maybe having a bit more... I mean, to kind of start it off, I think having a bit more of, meetings with, the Mos Espa, crime families, I think would have been a lot better. Because we really only had, the one scene.
Yeah.
So, I think having Boba Fett kind of being, this crime boss that's, we get to go see him interact with those Trandoshans. We get to go see him interact with all these other crime bosses. I think would have been really cool, and maybe playing them off of one another, I think would have been a really good idea. And having some stuff that, some underworld intrigue.
When you think about Boba Fett, though, I don't think it really makes sense with his character for him to become a crime boss. They try and make sense of it in the show very vaguely. That Boba Fett, because he was raised, he was kind of saved by the Tuskens and kind of taken into their culture. He has an attachment to Tatooine now, and he kind of sort of wants to I guess take it over and kind of keep it safe. But removing that, if you remove the Tusken thing, then it doesn't really make sense for him to be a crime boss Tatooine, right?
I mean, it kind of does and it doesn't. Obviously,
he's a bounty hunter. Why would he want to be a crime boss? I would, if we're rewriting Boba Fett, I would just want him to do bounty hunting stuff, I think.
Yeah, and I think that would have been cool, but I think that's kind of the safe route to go with. Having Boba Fett do all these kind of I guess kind of Mando season 1 jobs, where it's he does a thing, he does a thing, he does a thing.
Yeah, and to be fair, in Mando, he doesn't really do that much bounty hunting besides like that one time in the beginning, and then after that, it's kind of just Lone Wolf and Cub, Mando and Yoda run on the run. Doesn't really do that. Well, no, he doesn't really do that. We don't really get to see. Like, I would want to see Boba Fett doing his thing, doing bounty hunting, or maybe, after the Sarlacc, he's like, he's on the hunt for Han Solo for like revenge or something like that because he's mad about the thing, or no, I don't think Boba Fett would go after Han. Unless it was like an actual job or a bounty, he would want to go for revenge because he's the kind of guy, that's like, yeah, it's just business, But what would you want to do with Boba Fett crime boss?
Well, I mean, obviously, like I said, kind of having some scenes with him and the other crime families, other crime bosses and stuff. I think it would be really cool. Kind of seeing that political side of like.
In this
way,
we're just kind of basically just kind of like patching up the Book of Boba Fett show.
Oh yeah, essentially.
Okay. In that case, yeah, I would definitely just want more actual like crime stuff. Like dealing with the spice trade. Address the slave trade because they don't really talk about that on Tatooine. I assume slavery is still legal on Tatooine. Because it's not under Imperial control, it's under Hutt control.
Yeah, I think that definitely...
But maybe Boba would be, like, against slavery. That seems like something that he would be against. And maybe he outlaws it, and there's a big thing with all the other crime bosses because it's a big part of their trade,
Yeah, there's that. I mean, like, that... ever since Episode 1, like, we've all... Like, from then, we've seen Tatooine as, like, this... it's like a slave trade place. Like, Anakin...
The hive of scum and villainy.
Exactly.
Well, it doesn't seem like that in the Boba Fett show. It just seems like normal people and stuff a lot. Like, where's all the scoundrels and stuff?
Oh, exactly. And
so we up the grittiness with Tatooine, make it like 10 times more dangerous and scummy.
Yeah, I would have like, rather than the Pike Syndicate have this big like announced like thing
I
of like
just take the Pike Syndicate and just chuck them out the window.
Well, you can keep the Pikes, but like keep some of their stuff a little bit more like.
They're not interesting. It's just Clone Wars reference. That's it. That is their only trait.
Well, no, that's fine, but you can bring them in, but like don't have them like announce that like, oh, they're the Spice Runners, they're the ones doing Spice, they're the ones doing XYZ, and they're gonna fight Boba Fett. Have them like have a cool scene, kind of like that one in the first episode where there's like. The assassins that try and kill Boba, like have Boba get shot but survive because of his armor. They chase the sniper or whatever, and it turns out like maybe a couple episodes later you find out who he works for, and he can like go and he can cross-reference like the other crime families and find out like, oh, don't have it like revealed like and so obvious and have the Pikes like just brought into anything. No. I don't know. I think it would just be a lot better if we didn't just throw that
for like
right
Boba
away.
Fett to like outlaw spice. It just seems like Boba Fett, if he's going to take over a crime organization, he would want to keep crime going, keep the money going, and this is a guy who he doesn't really care about other people and stuff. He just wants to make money and do bounties and stuff. So yeah, where is this like moral center coming from? Are we still doing like Dances with Tuskens?
I think the flashbacks are really cool, and I do really like them. So I would definitely say keep them.
Yeah, I would say just chuck them out. Yeah, do something completely different, which would be, Boba Fett still escapes from the Sarlacc. If we're doing, I guess, him still being crime boss and stuff. Maybe he's just, he's just kind of tired, he's just tired of doing other people's business. He kind of got swept up in Jabba's whole thing, and that ended badly. So now he's like, oh, I just want to, be in charge of everything. I'm tired of, working for other people when I could just work for myself. I mean, he already did that, but, he would, be crime guy. And, yeah, like, I don't know. I liked the flashbacks to to like Jango Fett in well, they didn't flashback that much, but they did some Camino flashbacks. Maybe something about maybe like we could have more stuff with that, like flashbacking to Boba's childhood and like the way his dad taught him and like having a code and all that, and that could like play into how he handles the crime organization in a certain way.
Yeah, that could be.
Definitely more Hutt drama though, because they bring in the twins and they're like, like this is our planet, but then they totally back off because of the Pikes. So instead, no Pikes. Boba has to deal with the Hutt clan, and there could be like some kind of negotiation, like I mean, with Jabba and everyone else dead and palace totally looted. Maybe Boba's just the only kind of person who could really take over. They have like Bib Fortuna on the show, but we could just have him get blown up on the sail barge.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They don't. He's not really seen after when they go on the sail barge. That there's no Bib Fortuna. It's kind of weird. Maybe he just got left at the palace. Who knows? I've been reading the book, The Mandalorian Armor, which is the first book in the Bounty Hunter Wars series. And it's funny how it's kind of similar to the Book of Boba Fett, where it starts off with Boba, surviving the Sarlacc, and then like half the book is like flashbacks, and then the other half is like Boba is basically like in a coma. He's saved by Dengar, the guy with the rusted armor and like the head scarf thing in Empire, for those of you who aren't savvy. And so they kind of already did that, but well, I'm not sure where I was going with that. I liked the book, I guess. But yeah, Boba Fett just seems like more of like a hard man in the books, in the movies. So yeah, we need there has to be some kind of reason if he's going to have like some kind of like new morality change, and that we remove the Tusken stuff. Yeah, if the Tusken stuff is removed, then Boba Fett's just going to be classic Boba Fett, kind of merciless. He doesn't really care about anyone, kind of thing. Who knows? Or maybe the Sarlacc thing, like his life flashing before his eyes. Maybe we could have flashbacks to Jango and his childhood. Have like de-aged Tamara Morrison play Jango Fett. Maybe incorporate some stuff from the young Boba Fett novels. Who knows? That would be really cool. I would love more Camino flashbacks.
Yeah, some more Camino flashbacks would be cool. I think definitely getting some stuff of him and like Jango growing up would be cool.
Yeah, kind of connect more the the OT Boba Fett with his prequel counterpart, and maybe try and patch up some things and fix some things there to make it all make more sense and mesh. Like how does Boba Fett go from being like this kind of little kid with his dad, to like being just this hard, bounty hunter who just he doesn't care pretty much about anything, and he flamethrowers his targets to death sometimes because he'd rather kill them. If it's dead or alive, he'll just incinerate them.
Sure, yeah. I think that could definitely be an interesting way to go with the character. I just think that I just think the Tusken flashbacks do a really good job of like humanizing him, and I think having that human element of Boba Fett in there really helps the audience, kind of be on his side.
Yeah, I do think that it's a good enough reason for him to be kind of more I guess nicer and care about Tatooine in some way. I just the show really didn't do a good job of explaining that, and then it kind of I don't know, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, overall, I just think having him being kind of the godfather of Tatooine, like kind of the Don Corleone, kind of person. I would have loved to see more scenes of him where characters are coming to him and they're like, oh, Boba Fett, I'd love to have you, do this favor for me. I'd love to have you do X, Y, Z. I'd love to have you and your people, like, guard the spice shipment for me. Could you please essentially, like, whack this character? And I think
more crime stuff.
Yeah, more crime stuff, I think. Is just
less having Boba Fett be, like, an underdog kind of character. Have him be the badass, the Walter White.
Yes, and that's a great way to put it. I think he doesn't need to be the Luke Skywalker underdog farm boy. He needs to be the crime boss.
Last stand in Mos Espa,
Yeah, and I think that is fun from like a, homage to like Western movies kind of way. I think
Sure.
it's a bit too on the nose. I think the series just as a
Seven
whole,
Samurai, it's already done that a lot, yeah.
yeah, exactly. Like Star Wars as a whole already borrows a lot from samurai movies, Old West movies, of having like the good guys fight off like droves of nameless Joe Schmoes. And
Yeah.
and I think to get a little controversial, I mean I know I loved the episodes, and I know most people did, but I would just cut out the episodes that tie in Mandalorian season 3 essentially into Book of Boba Fett.
For sure.
I would either have Mando either just not be in the series, or just have him be there kind of from the start. Like have him be like,
Oh.
I mean, I guess obviously Boba doesn't need muscle, but like have him kind of be the Black Kirstanton of the show, where like he's this big, he's the muscle guy. He's who Boba sends to like intimidate
Mando would need a
people.
reason to be there, though.
Yeah, and I think that's how you could get it to tie into Mando season 3. We find out why he isn't, doing other stuff.
I just remembered this. Maybe I was thinking, instead of having Boba do like Tatooine stuff, have him do like Mandalorian stuff.
Yeah,
Like instead of caring about Tatooine, he wants to like reunite like the clans, and we could have him become Mandalore early, kind of thing.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool too.
And then you could incorporate Mando and all that.
Yeah, and I think that'd be a better way to do it.
And then that would tie in with like the Jango Fett flashbacks and all that stuff. That'd be super cool. It'd be like, oh, I want to give something back. Yeah, but moving back to like the crime boss stuff, definitely just having Boba Fett just be more of like a scary, badass guy. Everyone is completely terrified of him. And he's got we get to see the whole organization. That you got underlings from top to bottom. He gets everything Jabba had. The whole shebang, right? It's a whole big thing. Like really up the budget and the scale. It's not just like 5 people in Jabba's palace. That just sucks.
Yeah, I would. Yeah,
there's informants. There's street level guys. Lieutenants. All this kind of stuff. They got ships. There's a whole thing. Not just Tatooine, but like the whole sector of Jabba's space is probably up for grabs. And you could have him have to deal with other people. Pushing in on the territory, not the Pikes. Somebody else. Maybe Black Sun. Something like that. Who knows?
Yeah, I think Black Sun would be a great tie-in.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I think to kind of piggyback off that idea, I think having like some remnant, Vigo from Black Sun trying to muscle in on Tatooine would be awesome.
Yeah, they like start picking off their spice shipments or something like that, and Boba Fett's got to like think of brutal ways to retaliate and like enforce his rule of law, as it were.
Yeah, and I think
maybe incorporate some stuff with like the Imperial remnant and the New Republic.
Yeah, I think having the New Republic be like a semi kind of recurring thing would be a lot more fun than having Mando have like one little
getting pulled over by like space cops outside of Tatooine.
Yeah, exactly.
Which makes no sense, kind of. Yeah, really, really up the scale. Yeah, you forget that it's all still Hutt space, even though the Empire was a thing, right? Like the Hutts still had power. So that would still be Hutt space. But yeah, I'm sure the New Republic would want to kind of maybe get in on things, maybe put in the rule of law. And yeah, you could have like some moral stuff where Boba is like being like the evil guy with like our characteristic good guys, the Alliance. And he doesn't care. You just don't have Boba Fett always interested in doing the exact quote unquote right thing. It's more like the right thing for Boba Fett.
Exactly.
Definitely in the expanded universe, he's he's more of like a he's fleshed out more, but it's basically just taken from like who he is in the movies, which is like a merciless badass.
Yeah, and I think having the New Republic be a little bit more involved would also throw this fun little like third faction in. Boba Fett can kind of play the the crime families in the New Republic. He can kind of play the middleman and kind of play the two against each other. And then I think it would be more fun to have like this kind of I guess, air quotes, lawful good New Republic versus like neutral Boba Fett versus like evil crime families who are like, oh, I just want to push spice, slavery, and have Boba Fett be like this in between and kind of play the two against each other, and then kind of at the end, I think it'd be way more fun than rather having this underdog gunfight between Boba Fett and Mando. Granted, it's a super fun scene, yeah. But having like this 3-way gunfight, I think would be even cooler. Like, and maybe we could have like. And, granted, to, like, play into the Western kind of homage style that they were going for, have a Mexican standoff between, like, Boba Fett, a New Republic marshal or lawkeeper or whatever, and some crime family guy. Like, have a tense Mexican standoff there. Like, I think that'd be super cool. Like, just throw that in there as, like, an awesome homage to the Old West stuff that Star Wars is based off.
Yeah, you could do that. I think in this scenario, Boba Fett would kind of be more like the guy behind the curtain, kind of like manipulating events, and maybe like every so often he kind of has to do something himself, and show that he's a badass and like he's extremely intimidating, because he's Boba Fett, the greatest, most feared bounty hunter in the galaxy.
Also true.
And I definitely think Boba Fett as a crime boss would want to keep stuff like the spice trade going, keep like income coming in. But since he does have a code, maybe he would like try and like outlaw slavery on Tatooine or something like that. So that could, that could definitely be an issue, I think.
Yeah, that'd be some great conflict to have too.
Yeah, and I definitely would just want to completely replace the Tusken flashbacks with like Jango Fett flashbacks. If budget is no issue, frickin', de-age Tamara Morrison, and maybe just like a cool Jango Fett adventure, or something like that. Something that shows how Boba learned his moral code from his dad. That would be really cool, like a bounty hunting mission he goes on or something.
Well, and you don't even have to de-age. Oh, I guess to be Jango.
Yeah.
Well, you don't even have to DH him. Just have him wear the helmet the whole time.
Oh, yes, very true. That's
bam,
true, yeah.
Budget saver, and then just get that
problem solved.
Yeah, get the kid who played Boba to come back.
Speaking of which,
like he's not famous, so yeah, have him come back.
Yeah, but I would definitely want Boba Fett to just wear his helmet and armor a lot more in the show, and maybe just take off his helmet for specific like key moments, more like character-y moments, kind of like how the Mandalorian did it.
Yeah, and I think that
just have him taking his helmet off all the time.
Yeah, I think that'd be a really cool thing to do. Especially, I would say don't have him go in the back to tank and heal himself from the Sarlacc scars. Like
He would want to keep the scars as like a warning to other people.
Yeah, like as a warning, like
have him look really messed up.
Well, I wouldn't say like really messed up, but like how he looked in like the first couple episodes, I think is like perfect. Like he's kind of like crusty looking, like he can take his helmet off, like just as an intimidation thing. Like,
intimidation factor. Yeah,
I'm Tamora Morrison. Take a dip in the Polynesian spa in the Sarlacc.
Yeah, because part of what Jango taught Boba was like you can don't take out the scratches and scuffs from the armor on your armor or like the ship and stuff like that. Leave it as like a warning that you've survived battles, like how like a lion has scars and stuff like that. And so him having those like Sarlacc burns is like showing like I can't be killed by anything. I was freaking swallowed by a Sarlacc and I climbed back out.
Yeah, exactly.
Dopeness, very dope. Oh yeah. Just take the kiddiness of Boba Fett and just ratchet up all the edginess to like 11. Super scummy bounty hunting stuff.
Yeah, and I think it would be
And
fun.
maybe have Boba doling out bounties to other bounty hunters. Huh? It's
I-
kind of a nice little circle thing there.
Yeah, I think that'd be
Maybe
really
he
cool.
gives the Mando a bounty.
Yeah, that'd be fun to do. I also think that maybe have like a part of an episode dedicated to like Boba Fett goes after like a deserter or something, and he gets to like track him through Mos Espa or Mos Eisley or the Dune Sea or something, and we get to see Boba Fett in his element, like hunting this person.
Sure, yeah, you could have like one instance where Boba Fett feels the need to do something himself. Yeah, that could happen. I would definitely prefer to just have him kind of running things from the back mostly, but like doing like a cool Walter White setup stuff, having like the dudes like, shanked in prison kind of thing, retaliating against other clans and all that. Maybe every once in a while he participates in something just to kind of show how badass he is, like he goes on his own missions and stuff.
Yeah, I would keep his like firefight involvement.
But really brutal stuff.
Yeah, I'd keep it
taking out guys, taking names, kicking ass.
Yeah, definitely have it one of those things where like he maybe you only see him really like do like heavy duty fighting and like I don't know, like 3 out of the 6 episodes, and the rest of it he's kind of being like that crime boss who's like doling out stuff like Joe Schmo number 12, you're gonna go shoot this Black Sun person. Black Kirstanton, you're gonna go strangle this Pike in his sleep or something.
Or yeah, he gets like a whole team together and has them like do like a hit on another thing, stealing, other people's merchandise and stuff like that.
Yes, and mentioning a team that is very perfect, I think that having him, having a sole, kind of like little group of his like squad, like maybe have Mando, have Black Kirstanton, have Fennec, and the Gamorrean guards because they're Du Bois.
Maybe some other cool bounty hunters.
Yeah,
do like some OT references.
Yeah, like throw Dengar in there and be like, "Oh, all right, you're gonna go and go to the Polynesian spa and kill this Black Sun Vigo."
Ooh, another IG droid would be really cool. Like a different numbered IG droid would be really cool to have.
Yeah,
some kind of droid bounty hunter.
Yeah, those are always fun. Maybe get some, to throw in my inner KOTOR fanboy, like maybe have an HK unit in there, just for funsies.
Oh, okay, yeah, like an old, just rusted out HK unit, sure.
Yeah, like by this point they're on like HK 125 or something.
Yeah, it could be all like slow, or you mean like a newer HK droid?
Yeah, like a newer one.
Looking? Okay.
Yeah, kind of like similar, based off like the same model. This is statement, Master. I don't think I want to kill these meatbags. They smell like ass.
Well, not maybe not too much like KOTOR, but a little reference there. And I would definitely like see that. Definitely just have Boba Fett not on the back foot. Like he's got resources, he's got power, he's got pull. He's not an underdog. He's a crime boss now. He's got the juice.
Yeah, exactly. So having him have like this squad of like, basically like his. I think to pay a cool homage I think to have a cool homage to like Episode 5, have him have like a little thing.
Oh, the Darth Vader scene. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, the Darth Vader scene, but like put Boba Fett in that scene, and he could tell Bossk like, oh no eating people alive, or whatever the hell Trandoshans do.
Yeah, sure. Maybe Boba Fett calls in some old associates like that. Yeah, Bossk would be cool.
Yeah, get all those.
Maybe have like a Dengar guy. You probably couldn't get the same guy, but maybe get someone to just play him.
Well, you get some dude and wrap some toilet paper on his head. It's basically.
Yeah, more of that. Make it way less Western and just more like scummy bounty hunter stuff.
Yeah, underworld.
Like I would just want way less Western vibes from it, and have it not all take place on Tatooine. Other planets in space, because Hut space is pretty big. There's other planets and stuff going on out there.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun to revisit some of those places, revisit Nar
Definitely more
Shaddaa.
Slave One action. If we're doing like Boba Fett bounty hunting someone, Slave One action.
Yeah,
Or the fire spray gunship.
yeah. I also think that definitely cut out the scene where he goes back to the Sarlacc to find his armor.
Yeah. Yeah, hilarious as it is.
Well, it makes him look like a dingus. Like he flies his ship directly into the mouth of the Sarlacc, and he's like, "Oh no, what are we going to do?"
Yeah, it's like that scene in Alien where the guy just like sticks his head into the freaking egg thing, and yeah, of course that happens.
Yeah, it's like, "Oh no, this isn't the Polynesian spa." Like it's just dumb. It makes him look like a dingus, and I would definitely have some scenes where.
Yeah, less Boba Fett dingus stuff for sure. Boba Fett is completely 100% serious, total awesome badass.
Yeah, like don't have him doing dingus
Don't have him
stuff.
like pick up a random little house serving droid and be like, "I'm Boba Fett."
I like that scene. So
No.
I guess I'm just
And it was lame.
I like it. Maybe have him have some comedy with I like that kind of stuff in Star Wars, like some lighthearted, easy fun. Maybe have a scene.
You can have some comedy, but you have to have it be like how Mandalorian does comedy. It's like Mandalorian's this like straight faced guy with like the mask and stuff, and then you got comedic relief over here, and it's funny seeing the guy in the mask not react to whatever funny thing happens. Like that's funny.
Well, I think okay. So here's my off the cuff comedy house droid thing. Have Boba have the serving droid that always brings him out like the wrong food, and there's your comedy. It's easy. You can still have that thing. Boba can like.
Droid can be funny, sure.
Yeah, the droid can be funny. Have it be kind of that this series is like C-3PO where he's like, "Oh dear, you asked for a Nerf steak and I brought you out a Nerf burger. Oh my god, I'm so quirky." And then Boba Fett can like shoot at his legs and like, "Oh, this isn't the Polynesian spa. Dance, you droid."
But I would just want Boba just wearing his helmet just way more, even while he's like eating and drinking, because he does that in the books, I think, anyway. But I just because like half the character is the helmet, I think Tamara Morrison would be good with doing acting with the helmet on.
Yeah, for sure. But I also it would definitely. Yeah, I think Tamara Morrison, I think he also has great comedic timing, so having some of those, like, funnier scenes in there also definitely helps to make Boba Fett not just be this, like, serious, one-dimensional character where he's like, "Oh, I'm Boba Fett, I'm gonna blast you for being a dingus."
Yeah, but not just a little bit here and there, in, like, the lull moments, but mostly badass Boba.
Yes, definitely.
And, that's basically the Book of Boba Fett show kind of fixed.
Yeah, that's how we would write it. I mean, at the end of the day, it boils down to have Boba Fett be a badass, I think just the biggest thing is make use of your guest cast that you can bring in. Obviously, Fennec has become like a fan favorite character. She's really fun. I think her and Boba like play off each other really well.
Yeah, I think she's all right. I'm not like crazy about her or anything.
I think
I don't think she's that interesting, really. Like, what is her character?
Well, I think it kind of works to have her be like the straight person to Boba Fett's, a little bit kind of quirky, kind of quirked up Boba.
It just kind of seems like she's there. She's like, she's the NPC companion, really.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, it definitely works out. We get a lot of good stuff between the two of them. And I think, make use of a bigger guest cast, bring in some OT characters, bring in Mando, but don't have an entire episode and a half dedicated to Mando Season 3.
Yeah, definitely not keep it as the Book of Boba Fett. But
yeah,
I would want to just completely rewrite everything, but keeping it in like the Mando universe. I guess I would want to have Boba Fett. He wants to reunite the Mandalorian clans, and we have him doing stuff with Mando and the armorer, and kind of getting together some other Mandalorian bounty hunters, And yeah, just get, maybe since this is post Return of the Jedi, maybe taking back Mandalore, like maybe the Imperial Remnant still has control of Mandalore and like Concord Dawn.
Yeah.
And just have him do that and like become the Mandalore and like, reunite the Mandalorians and all that, and just have a whole show about that.
Yeah, and I think
and of course still Jango Fett flashbacks and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. And there's a million things that you could do with it.
It's probably maybe that's a better idea for like Mando season 3, right? You're gonna have Boba Fett involved. I don't know. I just want Boba Fett to be the center of everything. Have him just like, oh, and that would be great revenge for how, Bo-Katan like talked down to him. Have him just become, I guess, the leader of Mandalore. I guess you'd have to bring in some stuff with like the Darksaber, right? Somehow.
Nah, you don't have to. You can find a way around it.
Yeah, I guess Mando gave it up anyway from the Mando season 3 inserts. Or did he get? What happened to the Darksaber? Did he keep it, or he gave it away?
He still has it.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's just not the chosen one, or whatever.
Well, yeah. He's technically the ruler of Mandalore because he got it in the battle, and yeah, he's just having to work around the Disney canon stuff is really crippling stuff here. Yeah, I don't think it's too bad, but yeah, I think having Mando and Boba Fett have their own adventures, I think would definitely help. For sure, have Mando as like a cameo, kind of like how you did with Boba Fett. Kind of flip flop the scenarios where Boba was in kind of the last couple episodes of Mando season 2. Have Mando be in just a couple episodes, or play like a background role.
Yeah, but instead of him like tagging along for like the Last Stand thing, just have him do some cool bounty hunting stuff. Like that's what we all want to see. That's what we all want from the Mandalorian show, from the Boba Fett show. Cool bounty hunting stuff.
Yeah.
Seedy back alley crimes, Yeah, just crank up that edginess, man.
Yeah, I don't think we have to go like, all out like 90s edge, but I think like, having a bit of a harder side to Boba Fett would definitely help.
Yeah, like have him freaking kill some dudes and stuff like that, like cold-blooded kind of stuff. I don't know.
Well, I mean, like he has a rank. I would definitely keep him getting a Rancor. Obviously, I love Danny Trejo. I ate at his restaurant when I was in California, so obviously I want to keep him in there.
The Rancor stuff was really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, the Rancor stuff's cool.
Great intimidation factor. Probably one of the best scenes of the show is when the Rancor claw comes up, above the table. Super cool.
I mean, plus at some point, just keep Boba riding the Rancor because that's a great like intimidation factor.
Yeah, maybe. You could have something there, but definitely him having like being like attached to the Rancor, kind of it makes sense. It would even make sense with like his Jango Fett flashbacks because he has a thing for like animals and the books and stuff, Yeah. And you can kind of bring it around to him like, yeah, he just likes to ride on giant animals.
Like a bantha.
Like a bantha.
But yeah, I think, overall, like, and again, to like, bookend this, we were both fans of the show that we got. Like, it was really fun. It was fun to watch. But, there's always room for, internet dudes like us to like make our own little improvements, ideas and stuff. But yeah, like I think having Boba Fett, I just recently rewatched The Godfather, so I'm very biased. But having Boba Fett be like the Don Corleone of Tatooine, I think would just be really, really cool.
Yeah, if you do it right, it could definitely be better than how it was in the Book of Boba Fett show.
Yeah. And this is also
there's definitely a couple different ways to go with the rewrite. Either we just like completely throw away everything and just do like expanded universe Book of Boba Fett show, which would be like completely totally different. Do like working it around with Mando kind of. With these rewrite videos, we don't really like rewrite it like episode for episode, bit for bit. We just kind of mess around and kind of think of different ideas and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think both sides definitely have their merits. I mean, you can definitely like. I think there's a lot of the Boba Fett stories that you could fit from the EU into like new canon. But I mean, it's nothing that like contradicts anything. You can make everything work together. You can get the cool stories from like Bounty Hunter Wars and Mandalorian armor and all that stuff. Get those in there. Have Boba Fett be a cool crime boss. You can fit a lot of stuff in there because that's the great thing I think about kind of the Mandoverse is like it kind of fits in, with a lot of stuff, and it's easy to add stuff in, take stuff out, and all that stuff. I think it's just a really cool time period to explore.
Yeah, I think you could definitely keep most of the story of Book of Boba Fett. While just taking out some stuff, kind of improve it, like the things we talked about. I think that would really improve the show a lot. Just throw the Pikes out the window, incinerate them. Replace them with the Hutts, Black Sun, some other just kind of intimidating criminal organizations. The Imperial Remnant and New Republic. Just bring all that stuff in.
Oh yeah, there's a ton of stuff you could bring in. But any last minute additions that we could make to Book of Boba Fett you think that would really affect it? Yeah, I mean, besides what we talked about, because I mean, we've done a pretty bang up job of if we had a bomb at Lucasfilm headquarters, I think we have some pretty good demands.
Yeah, maybe just bring in some like Mandalorian clan stuff if we're doing like the Boba Fett's like the crime boss of Tatooine. Just incorporate some Mandalorian like clan stuff into that, maybe.
Yeah, for sure. That'd always be cool too. More Mando stuff.
Yeah, like for whatever reason, maybe the Mandalorians come to like Tatooine for their new refuge or something like that, and Boba Fett gets to be kind of in charge of them or give them shelter or what's the word I'm looking for here? Give them refuge.
Nice.
No, there's a different word I'm looking for.
Okay.
That's pretty close. But yeah, they would essentially kind of get to live under Boba Fett, maybe do some cool bounty hunting stuff for him, or have some kind of like a crime war instead of doing the underdog, Last Stand and Mos Espa Western thing. Just make it all bigger scale. Everything, man. I don't know if I'm being too vague.
That's all right.
But yeah, that's probably it for me.
And yeah, I've already pretty much said my piece. But yeah, I think the show was great, and I think there's obviously ways we can improve on it, and with our 2020 hindsight. So, but yeah,
definitely no Vespa gang for sure. No.
Well, I think it's fine to have a Vespa gang, but have them move at like speeder speeds, rather than like bicycle speeds.
Maybe, all right, and maybe actually have them ride like speeder bikes.
Well, I think having them have like Vespa homage speeders is fine, but have it move at like a Star Wars pace. Like Endor speeder bike chase.
Yeah. Like I really do think that it does kind of clash with the aesthetic of Tatooine. I would kind of just rather have them ride those junky speeder bikes like the one Anakin rides in Episode 2. Yeah,
and I think that's fine, but I think the Vespa gang also works as a great. Because Tatooine is like I guess melting pot would be kind of the term to use, and I think it works really good as that, to have them be like, oh, we're the quirky dudes, we're the really colorful dudes.
Maybe just don't have the speeders be like freaking primary colors, like have them be like, you could have them be shiny and all that, but have them be like, metal or something, like metal gray,
Yeah, throw some chrome in there.
Yeah, that would definitely give the same effect without completely like clashing with the overall gritty aesthetic of Tatooine.
Yeah, and I think there's a million different ways you can do it. I think the speeder bike chase was not great. I think there's different ways to do it, but overall it's like a tiny gripe, and I think
that's more of a directing problem, not really a writing problem.
Exactly, and that's perfectly. If we were in the director's chair, no offense, Robert Rodriguez, but we'd probably do better.
Yeah, I'm a real big Robert Rodriguez fan, but holy crap, I cannot defend that scene. But yeah, I just no, you know, I don't know. It's more scummy looking people. These kids, they don't look like, you know, they live on Tatooine. They just look too well fed, you know. I dirty them up a bit. This place is covered in sand. Like look at like, you know, like look at like Tatooine or Mos Espa and the Phantom Menace. Like everyone looks all dusty and crummy, you know. Not super dusty, but you know what I mean, right? Like there's a general look to everything. But yeah, epilogue and addendum aside. Yep.
Yeah, for sure. This has been kind of how we would rewrite Book of Boba Fett. If you've enjoyed this video or any other videos that we put out on this channel, definitely drop a like on the video. We're obviously trying to grow the channel, and it helps a ton. We're super, super thankful for you guys that have been liking and subscribing and watching our videos. It goes a long, long way for a small channel like us. But yeah, like this video, subscribe if you've enjoyed anything so you can keep up with us, and join the Discord. It's going to be linked down in the description. And maybe we'll take one of your videos in the future for a great suggestion like we did with this one. And with that...
hopefully you enjoyed our vague rambling. If you have any like suggestions or criticisms, we would love to hear anything you guys would have to say. And yeah, take it away, Cade.
Yeah, for sure. So this has been Cade from the Lore Council signing off.
This is Keith, and we will see y'all later.